Hey, YSP team, thanks for joining me for this week's YSP updates. So I'm trying to put out maybe once a week a recording of really important announcements and to-dos for the week. Um, I'm seeing this as a more informative announcement than what I put out on Slack because, it's just my writing on Slack and that may not be always as clear as I want it to be. So hopefully this will help clarify a lot of things out there. In addition, this may kind of take place of staff meetings for the week. So I'm thinking, we'll switch it every other week, and we'll see what comes from that. So I'm happy to hear your thoughts and feedback. Let me know. Let's go over our vision and our mission. Our vision is to elevate people's growth mindsets so we all achieve higher ambitions. And I've definitely seen many of you continue to grow in the way that you've been facilitating the sessions, the way that you're working with scholars. So definitely keep that up. I'm really loving the way that we are operating so far, and just within the past 4 weeks. So thank you all so much for that. And definitely, we want to make sure we are elevating our Y Scholars growth mindsets, especially in today's times. Our mission is to guide first-gen high school students to pursue and obtain a college education. And so definitely if you're running seminars, you're definitely doing quite a bit of that. For those of you running study groups, you're giving them worthy skills that are going to be helping them pursue academic success, and that's definitely going to help them in pursuing their college education. So I would say we're definitely doing all of that. So let's talk about our playbook. Remember 3 things for this year. We're trying to inspire, engage, and coach. Okay, so inspire, engage, and coach. We're inspiring Y Scholars to take charge of their academic performances. So we're not here to just constantly be helping them and guiding them and dragging them along. We want to make sure we are getting them to be responsible on their end. We're engaging Y Scholars and families to prepare for college readiness. Our next family webinar is on October 26th. That's a Monday, and it's at 6:30. Jose and Monique, our previous presenters, are going to be talking about FAFSA and other financial aid applications. Lastly, we're coaching scholars to become responsible decision makers and communicators. And I'm definitely seeing a lot of that right now, especially through Slack. Our scholars are letting you know ahead of time if they can't use their cameras, if they need to reschedule. So let's really make sure we're giving them props for doing that. Let's make sure to keep encouraging to continue to do that. And then for those who are not doing that, let's make sure we're helping them figure out, okay, how can we get you to be more competent in terms of recognizing any conflicts and being able to communicate effectively with us so we can reschedule you and you'll not get that incompletion for the week. Couple of things in terms of our agenda today. We're going to talk about announcements. We're going to talk about sessions. So sessions is anything like seminars, workshops, study groups, coaching. We're going to talk about attendance checks again. We're going to talk about the growth mindset workshops, and then we'll finish off with a 2 times CSET recap. So coming up, we're entering our 5th week. So we are more or less 1 month into the program. So congratulations. There's no way we could have gone to this point without your support, without your resiliency, your persistence in working with me throughout these turbulent planning and executing times. So I really, really value your time and effort to kind of helping me get to this point. Our attendance has been really strong, and we're hovering around 90%. Sure, we can probably reduce some rescheduling, but in terms of attendance, around 90%, like people showing up, that's pretty awesome to see. So I do want to say for this week, we may see a drop. We are not doing Slack reminders, or I'm not doing Slack reminders starting this week. So if there are scholars who say, oh, where's that thing? I didn't know where to go. Then, if this is their first time, then it's a great time to say, hey, do you have that email confirmation of your days and times and run numbers? If not, let me send it to you right now, and make sure you have it so you know where to look. And on top of that, I want you to add a couple of reminders for yourself through Slack, and I pasted the coding for that. Growth Mindset workshops start this Thursday. I'm kicking it off with mine, and there's also another one on Friday. So please make sure that you get the remaining folks to sign up. So I've added an extra column on the class rosters right next to coaching. And so please make sure you can see who has not signed up yet. I've pretty much updated the list. Lastly, for new counselors only, so this is just for everyone, I guess, everyone to know, the coaches really. This is the last week where you are assisting with sessions. So you start out shadowing, now you're assisting. This will be the last week of assisting. After that, the week after, you are going to switch. So your current substitutes, they are going to be the ones assisting you. So I want you to take charge in terms of planning and then actually leading the sessions the week after. Okay, so it's going to be a challenge just to kind of kick things off. But again, we're here to support you, and I expect you to continue to grow rapidly. All right, so for sessions, seminars, and study groups. So first up is I want you to start when you're planning every week, and I've already talked to some of you about this, which is to determine what the practice around conversation is going to be. So whether it's mirroring, whether it's avoiding yes or no questions, asking open-ended questions, make sure to pick a topic to practice for the week or even for 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, you can't stretch it out. This is going to be a consistent part of your curriculum every single week. So you don't have to cram everything into 1 week. So I've shared with you a 36 question slide. I've added some things where in there with some topics around how to practice having a better conversation with people. So you can literally copy and paste it onto your own slides. Or even better, which really would get me excited, will be some of you looking at other things that you want to see in terms of how we want to work with our scholars in terms of conversations. And so you want to create your own slides using the background template. By all means, please do that and add it to the 36 question slide. So you do have editing privileges on that one. Next, please work on your engagement. As always, that is such a huge deal. If you missed the upping your engagement level on Friday, the training on Friday, I'll probably run it again this week or next. And so please make sure you get yourself in there or figure out other ways to improve your own facilitation skills. And then also please work on your timing and your pacing. Okay, we want you to be able to finish everything on time. So you got to be better at figuring out how to balance everything out. If you're noticing you're constantly running over because you're dedicating so much time on 36 questions, then figure out how you can cut back on that. Other things you can think about is, the way that you are, that you're delegating responsibilities. Are there other people that can help you? Are there other ways to branch out responsibilities? Those are all important things to think about that can make your life a little bit easier. Lastly, there is going to be, since we're a month in, we are going to do a feedback survey from the scholars that attend your sessions. So I will create a little survey and you'll dish it out at the end of your sessions. So make sure to reserve, I would say, good 2-3 minutes for them to do that. It will be a short survey, probably 5 questions. Next, we got coaching. We are going into the second week of coaching. Hopefully the first week went pretty well. I've heard really great encounters with scholars. So let's keep that. Remember, you are trying to connect with your scholars, right? You're not just coming in and be like, all right, well, what's your goal? What do you want to work on? You should share a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your own struggles, and maybe even create a goal for yourself so that, it's a team effort, right? Like I'm coaching you, but maybe you can coach me on some level. Email your meeting confirmations. Make sure you definitely send those confirmations to the scholars. Make sure you CC me and the parents and guardians so that we're all in the know. Please add the day and time to the roster sheet under coaching. Okay, so that way I can see where, who hasn't scheduled one yet, who missed it, or who rescheduled, all those things. If they do miss your session, you are going to mark them as unverified for that week until they make it up. Okay, and then of course, if they miss it, make sure you're documenting that. Don't overwrite any documentation. So just add on to that. If they miss it once, you'll write something about it. If they miss it twice, write something about it again. Okay, so if they miss it twice, very likely we'll probably have a meeting with the scholar to talk about that. Lastly, remember you're setting goals around program attendance or program engagement. So this is if they're not showing up, they're forgetting, they're late, then create some sort of goal system with them around that. Or if you if they're good on the attendance part, then figure out how they can be better at engaging with the program. In terms of attendance sheets, I think we are doing really solid. Completions have been, the entire list has been completed. I didn't see much issues at all. So it looks like we are getting it, and you're doing a good job about that. So I really appreciate you getting on the same page with me about that. Again, just a couple of reminders, document all issues. Make sure to mark Y scholars who don't have any coaching sessions for the week as no meeting. And work as a team. Remember, you are responsible for your team to ensure that everything's completed by Friday, so accurately and completed fully. Okay, so if you notice or missing spots or something that looks weird or out of place, please have a chat with your team members. Okay, so next we have growth mindset workshops. Thank you all. First of all, I really appreciate you all coming up with the ideas. Some of you have already gotten started planning out everything, and that looks really awesome. We're getting a lot of signups already. I think we're probably at around 60-70%. So let's get the rest of the class in there. So I would say 1 week before, please check in with me. So if you've already started planning, right now is the time to schedule a time to meet with me, the two of you, and work with me to just make sure I kind of have a good idea of what your plans are. If there's any needs on your end, then I can kind of help you figure that out. Something that I really recommend you to think about, as with any kind of trainings or workshop, is if you could kind of condense it into one main message. So like I call it like a fortune cookie thing, right? One message for your Y scholars to leave with, what would that be? So if it's a catchphrase or one kind of system, right, that they can walk away with, then kind of figure it out and use that as your main talking point. Make sure that this growth mindset workshop, it's meant to be our more fun aspect of the program. So really allow for a lot of participant contribution, a lot of engagement, allow sharing on both the participants' end and your end. And I think that will make your workshop just feel more relevant and important to them. Lastly, I do want you all to record your session. So make a decision beforehand who's going to do the recording. So later on, we can look at each other's growth mindset workshops, or even put these recordings online, so that if there's someone who absolutely couldn't do it this month, then they can attend by watching one of their pre-recorded sessions. Okay, lastly, we have 2 times CSET. I just want to make sure. I know this is a new process. It's a bit long, but I'm seeing some really good stuff come off of it. So first, Remember, you're running at 2 times if you cannot reach that scholar. So ideally, everything's taken care of by the first time. And you use 2 times CSET whenever there's any kind of issues that come up, right? The scholar was late. The scholar had to reschedule. The scholar could not make it due to any conflicts. Or even if you need to schedule a session with a scholar, like a coaching session, that should be documented as a CSET as well. So first and foremost, I think there may have been a little discrepancy here, so let's just clear it up. C is in the beginning for a reason, so you should always start off with a call. I know that's kind of awkward, but calling will get you a response much faster than Slack or email. So always start with a call. Always start with a scholar so that you can get to the heart of the issue faster, right? And then if not, then call the parents and guardians, and you will document all calls on the Airtable roster in the contact list tab. Now, if you were able to reach a scholar by phone, then you can skip the Slack messaging because you're going to send an email to confirm it anyways. So there's no need to message them. If you get a parent or guardian in it and they tell you, oh, I'm going to have Joe call you back later, then you will go to that next part, which is you should Slack Joe as well, just so that Joe has double the messaging to him in terms of getting back to you. And then assuming your issue is finished, or if you need that person to get back to you, always send an email to finish off your CSET for the day. So CSET should be done the day of your sessions. So for any scheduled sessions of coaching or a change in schedule, so someone needed to move permanently to a different day and time, if they had to reschedule this week for some reason, football practice, dance practice, or is it that they could not reschedule because there are no more available sessions? So in that case, you should inform them because blah, 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 you are receiving an unverified or verified absence for this week. And just to remind you again, you can save a lot of time if you create those email templates and just edit the names, the reason, and then any other information that needs editing, and then send it out. So the process shouldn't take that long. It's just a couple of steps that you do need to remember. And I'm sure there are special, unique situations and circumstances out there. So if you are ever in doubt or not sure how to proceed, just reach out to me. And that will conclude our announcements and updates for this week. Thanks so much.